Hi, everybody. Welcome and welcome back. My name is Kimiko Sumi, and today I want to do another video of me not on camera. I just want to do a talking video, just to kind of be cathartic or like to kind of like do a self therapy session or just release bottled up, thoughts. Okay, I'm not gonna be like too I've been open about my love situations over the years anyway. I've been candid about it anyway, so I might as well go ahead and talk about it. But I'm not going to get too in detail about my personal life now. Like I'm not going to get too in I'm not going to go too deep into things that go on in my life now too much. But I want to kind of like reflect back on the past in this video. It's kind of like for me to like a diary for myself, but also for the world to feel like I'm getting like my thoughts out, and it's about for my healing process, my healing journey, my self-healing journey. Okay, I don't want to ever go to a therapist because I don't trust therapists. Even though I know I'm talking to y'all online, I just don't want to do a one-on-one session and pay any type of money for anybody to potentially disrespect me because I have an issue with the mental health field. I don't trust those people. I really don't. And I know that they could use this against me too, but but I just don't feel like talking to somebody one on one. If you can understand where I'm coming from, even though it doesn't really make sense too. But this is just how I feel. Like love connections where the root of my fear of men and relationships stem from, like a lot of it comes from deep scars, emotional scars. Like I remember one of the first times, I already talked about this in another video, but when I was young, I guess I was probably 7 years old, 7 years old in daycare. And I remember our daycare teacher wanted us to pretend to be in a marriage or be husband and wife in the class. Everybody had to partner up with a husband or a wife in our class. Well, the teacher wanted us to do it, so we had to do it. So the teacher set me up with this boy, and I remember he was the only one in the class who started to throw a tantrum. He threw a tantrum because he had to play husband and wife with me. And this is something that I couldn't control either. I didn't really want to do it, but he turned it into a huge like tantrum, and it hurt me so bad. This is before the physical changes that I went through when I got older. This is when I basically pretty much looked the way I was supposed to look, and it still scarred me. It was like I remember just thinking to myself, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? It's my fault. I felt very ashamed, embarrassed, humiliated. I had never seen anything like that before either. So fast forward, throughout all the years, I had been rejected. And ever since then, I had started to become rejected by guys, boys. Okay. And I remember one time, one of the first real times that I realized that, no, you know what? I'm not going to these boys do not like my ass worth a damn. So I remember I had a crush on this boy, and I believe it was second or third grade. I think it was third grade. And I remember I was just playfully chasing after him, and he turned around and he was like, "Leave me alone, you ugly girl." And that was the first time I really heard somebody insult my appearance, because I wasn't used to that at that point. Even though I was starting to put on weight around 9 years old, I still wasn't used to people calling me ugly or anything like that, because usually people would tell me how pretty I was. But he was like, "Get away from me, you ugly girl. Stop chasing after me, you ugly girl." And I remember I just stopped in my tracks on the playground. And I was like, what? I kind of thought to myself, like, I was like, what? And I remember I felt so bad about myself. It just made me feel horrible. And so ever since then, he was like, the reason why I stopped asking you, the reason why I asked you to be my girlfriend is because it was a joke. It was a joke that me and my friends a bet that we could to get with the ugliest girl in the class. and to date the ugliest girl. Who could find the ugliest girl to date? And I was the one that he chose. Okay. So, I didn't even, it hurt me, but I kept talking to him on the phone. We kept talking on the phone, but every time we would talk on the phone, he would say something bad about me, the way I look. He would never ever tell me that I was pretty, nothing. Okay. So finally, I remember I actually got into a physical fight with this girl over him. Cause people were telling me, oh, she talking to your boyfriend. Oh, she trying to get with your boyfriend, which was not my boyfriend, clearly. But I didn't realize that then, cause I was only like 13. Okay. So me and this girl got into a fight, and this chick could fight. She kicked my ass. But let me tell you something. I can fight too. Don't get me wrong. I can throw some hands. Everybody know that. I can throw some fists. I can beat a motherfucker ass. But this chick could fight her ass off, even though she was much smaller than me. And I actually hit her first, and I was wrong. Okay. And you should never, what is it called? You should never confront the other woman, even though that was when we were teenagers. You should never do that. And I learned from my lesson way back then anyway, on that note. But the girl beat my ass. Okay. She beat my ass. She gave me a black eye. Okay. And anyway, y'all, I'm back. I don't remember I don't really remember. I'm going to try to figure out, or think about what I was talking about. Cause I have to cut off this video real quick because, I didn't have enough space. So now I'm continuing on cause I deleted the space, the excess space. I mean, the excess stuff that was on my, phone. But anyway, so I got into a fight. With this girl over this boy that didn't even want me, who even let me know beforehand that he didn't want me already. Then after that fight, we kind of me and that girl kind of, talked to each other a little bit on the phone. And then, we did a 3-way with that boy, and he was laughing. Okay. So when we got off the phone, first of all, he wouldn't get on the phone. He would just laugh. He wouldn't really talk on the phone. He would just laugh. Then he hung up, and then we were just on the phone together, me and that girl that I got in a fight with, who gave me a black eye. And she was saying, they were laughing in the background. They were laughing at us and making fun of us. I guess he was laughing with his older brother or something about how we were fighting over him and shit like that and whatever. And I guess that was the last time me and her spoke. I didn't really stay mad at her. I wasn't even mad at him. I just left it alone. But as the years went by, actually that same year, I think that's when I finally got guys to look my way, because I started wearing makeup and stuff. And that's when girls used to really harass me then. The ones that were around my age, they were not very happy about me wearing makeup. They would always criticize my makeup. I would always stay into arguments with girls over me wearing makeup. Okay. Women, period. They would get very triggered by my makeup for some reason. It wouldn't make any sense. But guys, not the guys my age, but older guys would like me. Okay. Like in high school. They would always want me, but I would always get guys looking my way around that time. That's when I was amazed. I was like, damn, I didn't know that makeup could just do this. I didn't realize that the way that I looked back then to men either. I didn't realize it because I was so I had gotten used and accustomed to men thinking that I was unattractive. So I didn't really notice that it was that much of a difference. Okay. But the guys my age, they hated me. They couldn't stand me. They bullied me. Maybe because I didn't want them either. I wouldn't even talk to guys my age after that guy from, earlier that year or the year before. I wouldn't even talk to them. I wouldn't even look their way. But anyway, somehow the girls in school, they bullied me enough to get me to stop wearing makeup. And so, I went back to it didn't, because I was only wearing makeup for like a year or two, and then I stopped because of peer pressure from the girls, and then and even the guys that were around my age, because they were bullying me because of it. Even though guys that were like in high school and, you know, that weren't that much older than me, they liked it. They thought I was cute. Okay. But, you know, so I stopped wearing makeup because I just didn't want all of the attention on me. I didn't want negative attention on me. So, they convinced me again that I was ugly. Okay. So for years after that, I was afraid to put on makeup. So I never really got guys' attention until I say I was about 21. Let me see, 21. And then it was this guy that I don't even want to talk about that. I'm going to skip over here. I'm just going to say that so much trauma. It's been so many different occasions where men, even now to this day, men are never, I know I'm never meant to have a relationship. I'm just going to say that. It's not meant for me to have a relationship. It never was, and it never will be. I don't want a relationship. I don't. I'm scared of men. I'm scared of them. I'm just going to say that. I'm scared of men. I'm scared to fall in love with somebody ever again because they always disappoint me. They always do. And, you know, I'm almost 40 years old and I'm just good by myself, actually. I never want to have intercourse with anybody ever again. I'm actually coming to a point where I'm becoming asexual. I don't even want anybody, period. Especially not sexually. No. Okay. Like I'm grossed out by it. I don't even want anything to do with people, period. Well, most of the time anyway, especially in person, especially offline. But I'm just saying that it's just male rejection has done a number on me. And I was a femcel. I could have been considered a femcel because nobody wanted to take me seriously. Nobody has ever really taken me seriously as far as being with a man or being in a relationship. Nobody would. To this day, men play fucking mind games. They want to play mind games with me so bad now, but they can't because I won't let them in no more. It's been almost a decade since I've had sexual intercourse, and I will never have it again. I promise you that. And I've made a pact. I've written it into my destiny that I will never, ever have sexual relationships with nobody. Ever. Okay, for the rest of eternity. And I'm going to remain celibate. I'm going to be asexual. And I will never fall in love with anybody ever again romantically for the rest of eternity. I have made that pact with myself. Like I signed a contract in past lives to come back and do this. Well, this is my contract that I'm signing. I will never. I want to meet back up with my children from as me being when I was Nefertiti. Yes, I do. I want to re-meet them. And I just want to have a motherly bond and a familial bond and maybe even possibly a platonic friendship bond with people. But I never want it to be romance. I never want romantic interest in a loving way ever again. I don't. Because it's only going to be one-sided. It's only going to be unrequited. I've learned that. I'm almost 40 years old. Why the fuck would I look at men now anymore? Why? It's never gone my way. Romance is not for me. It's not. And I've come to the terms, even though I'm looking better than I ever have, I still don't want nobody. I still don't trust men. I don't trust them. In fact, the only time I really care about a man is if it's platonic or it's my family. Those are the only men I care about, regardless of race. Okay? I don't discriminate either when it comes down to races of men and people in general. I don't really want to fuck with nobody, period. And I don't care what race they are. I don't care about their gender. I don't care what they have. I don't care. I would rather people stay far the fuck away from me offline. I do not care because it's always been disappointment after disappointment after disappointment when it comes down to relationships with people, unless it's familial. Okay. I have thrown my hands up. I have dusted off my hands. I am done with relationships with people offline, period. Except for my own family. Other than that, I'm not fucking with nobody like that. And online, I'm careful with people online too. But I'm more likely to talk to people online because it's from a safe distance over the phone. I do not want to take a chance on these people unless they're my family in real life. No more. Offline, no. Absolutely not. Especially not romantically, no. Because it's going to always be unrequited and I don't give a fuck. Okay? So this is my video. And I know it's kind of funny. It is kind of funny. But to me at least. Okay? But, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And me, being cathartic, I guess, I don't know. That's a word that I believe I learned in psychology class, in my college psychology class a long time ago. I think that's what it means to be cathartic, to reveal. Okay? So anyway, I hope you like, comment, subscribe, share my video, hit the notification bell if you like, share this video, subscribe, hit like, X, Y, and Z. And I hope you like this video. And I hope you have an amazing rest of the day. And I will too. And I will see y'all in another video, my lotus flowers. And I'm going to be out. Peace. I'm out. Bye-bye.